Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another DC review, and in this DC review I'll be covering Action Comics and Detective Comics. With the Action Comics it's issue 1059 and Detective Comics it's 1078. I'll now get things organised for the first one that I'll be covering first. So as we jump into the first one that I'll be reviewing, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? It does, to which I give it an 8 out of 10. Now this has 3 stories in it. I'll be covering all 3 of the stories that are actually in it. And I think you'll be how surprised with the rating for the last one. So let's move into the first. So as we start to begin to jump into the first one, we have the Blue Earth group attacking, of course, the Earth Prime here. And of course we get to catch up with the Man of Steel himself with Henry Irons. We, of course, see something happening with the twins in the story. We return to Steelworks. And last but not least, we get to see that one of the twins has been taken captive by Earth Al Ghul and the leader of that planet. So for the art rating, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Moving into the next thing, which is the locations. We have Metropolis, the Steelworks, and Earth Al Ghul, which connects to the Superman versus the Authority run. We also have the cast of characters consisting of Superman, John Henry Iron Steel. We have, of course, the Super Twins. Can they kill them off already or get rid of them? Keenan Kong, Kara, Lois Lane, and a couple of others that are also on the list. And for the overall story rating, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move on to the next story, which focuses around Keenan Kong. So as we begin moving into this story, we see that Keenan Kong enters sort of like what is believed to a near-death experience after learning the identity of who Superman is. And of course, he's shown some scenes, and I guess finally brought in to be a part of the family. As we move towards the end, before we move into the next one. So for the art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. The location this takes place in is Metropolis. The key cast of characters are Keenan Kong, Master I Ching. We had the twins, of course, Connor and the Batman of China. For the overall story rating, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the last story in this, and yes, it revolves around the Bendis timeline, John Kent. Take note, his middle name is not Samuel. And I must admit, I did actually quite like what they did at the beginning here. Right, if anything, if you were to read this story, this is the only part of the story that you'd want to read. As things draw out with the story, of course, we gotta focus on turning it into a BL manga. Yeah, and it fails in all aspects of making it a BL manga. Of course, we have many scenes between John and Condom Man. Remember, his superhero name is Gossamer, so Gossamer is also used in relation to condoms, so Condom Man. And he acts more like a villain than a hero. That's Jay Nakamura, of course. Until, of course, we move to the end. Now, for the internal art, I did quite like the art, even though I don't... You will soon find out my rating for the story. So 5.5 for the art. Nothing against the artist. I understand that they're trying to help the writer out. Location takes place in Metropolis. The cast of characters consisting of John Kent, the twins, Crypto. It was nice to see Crypto in it. Lois. And of course, Condom Man, Jay Nakamura. For the overall story rating for this, I gave it a 1 out of 10. I actually heard one channel gave it a 6 out of 10. I'm giving it a little bit lower. So now it's time to move into Detective Comics. And I will not be covering the backstory in Detective Comics, as I did cover the backstory for this one. So as we finally move into Ram V's story of Detective Comics, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Slowly, but it is. But overall, a 7 out of 10 for the cover. It's now time to move into the internal art, as well as what's happening story-wise with the characters. So as we're basically dragging our feet along to seeing this Batman being hanged in Gotham City, we get to see what Cheshire's doing and some of the other characters are doing behind the scenes. We get to see Mr. Freeze return and a couple of others. Really nice to see Azrael turn up. And last but not least, towards the end. But is it enough to save the story rating? So for the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. First things first, do we get any comic references? No, we don't. We should be getting comic references. Especially if there's important parts that you want us to see pointed out in the story and where they sort of take place, where they have an important place in the story. In the area of time, we have minutes before Batman is hung. Next, we have Gotham and the tunnels of Gotham. The cast of characters consisting of Batman, Cheshire, Catwoman, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, Mr. Freeze, and Azrael. For the overall story rating in this, I give it a 6 out of 10. That's right, a 6 out of 10. This has really gone on for too long. And I mean really gone on for too long. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.